तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति भूरिदा जना. Namaskaram. Master Maharshi Mahendranath Gupta used to record his Sri Ramakrishna statements. Just he used to scribble, that's all. No one would be able to make out what he has written in his diary. Then after going back to his place, Mahendranath Gupta used to meditate upon that what he has written before writing about this gospel, Kathamrita. Master Maharshi used to meditate. The whole situation he used to meditate. So when he started meditating, then the whole picture used to come to before his eyes. Afterwards only he used to write this gospel, Kathamrita. That was his regular habit. Why he used to do? It is not only for himself, it is for ourselves. Future, those devotees who are coming to Sri Ramakrishna, for them, this Master Maharshi Mahendranath Gupta used to meditate and then he started writing this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So this was told because Swami Bhuteshanand, one of the presidents of our order, 12th president of our order, of course he met Master Maharshi. Then how he started writing this gospel, this Bhuteshanand used to tell. So just he will note, whatever Sri Ramakrishna is teaching, whenever he used to visit Dakshineshwar, he used to make notes of it. And afterwards, he will go back and then meditate and start writing. And one more interesting thing I have to mention here, this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna was originally written in Bengali, Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, in other languages Kathamrita, in Amudamaligal. Originally, interestingly, this was edited by Sri Ramakrishna himself. In what sense, I will tell you. See, the same, all the word statements of Sri Ramakrishna, all the spiritual teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, one of the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Shivanandaji, Mahapurush Maharaj, popularly called, he wanted to note down all his teachings. Then immediately Sri Ramakrishna stopped him. No, this is not your job, he said. Just you listen what I say. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell. When Sri Ramakrishna allowed Mahendranath Gupta to write. After writing, he used to make all the notes. Suddenly Sri Ramakrishna will stop. What you have noted, you tell, just repeat. Then he will tell what he has written and then he will repeat what Sri Ramakrishna has told. Did I tell like this? No. I did not tell like this. This is not the answer. This is not the thing I have told. This is not the context. You change it. So Sri Ramakrishna himself corrected Mahendranath Gupta. So in that sense, this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, this Kathamrita, is the chief editor is Sri Ramakrishna himself. Of course, he did not edit the language of that book, but he corrected the facts, corrected his teachings, wherever what he understood is exactly, this is the correct meaning. All those minute things Sri Ramakrishna himself corrected Mahendranath Gupta. That is why it is so sacred, this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, this Kathamrita. This is the reason. These are the words of God himself. See, of course, Bhagavad Gita is a great scripture. We don't, this one. But what the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna, that was recorded, compiled by Vyasa Maharshi. And who was there that for editing, we don't know. But here is the words of God. They are edited by God himself. That is the greatest thing. So that is the speciality of this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, this Kathamrita. That is why I told in the last class itself, one of the vice presidents of our order, and Swami Brahmanji's disciple, Surji Maharaj, popularly called Surji Maharaj, his name was Swami Nirvananandaji. Whoever reads this gospel every day, at least one paragraph, continuously, till the end, he will get Brahmajnana, he said. He will get God realization. And that Nirvananandaji is not an ordinary Swamiji. He himself was a great Brahmajnani. Because he was blessed by his own Guru, Swami Brahmanandaji. Shurji, you will Brahmajnan hobe, he said. That Swami has told, whoever reads this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna every day, without missing a single day, he will get Brahmajnana, he will get realization, God realization. But how to read this? How to read this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna? How this Mahendranath Gupta recorded this in that way if you read it. So when we read this gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, all the description which he has given everything, every minute thing. Is it necessary we feel? The Sri Ramakrishna is telling, he directly could have recorded all these teachings, these statements, just like teachings. But he is mentioning each and minute thing. Who came, what time, and date, and where he sat, and north, west. Very minute details he has recorded in this. What is the reason for that? So that devotees, those who read with great reverence, they can meditate. See, this is not just for reading, just like anything Parayana. This is for meditation. This book, this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna is for meditation for the seekers. When you read, see, every word, when you start reading this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we just, whole thing, it is not just like it is something we are writing, something we do Parayana. You feel that, yes, all the pictures of Dakshineshwar is coming to before our eyes. You feel that, definitely. Every devotees who read this book, they felt, yes, the whole picture is coming. Oh, Sri Ramakrishna is giving, as if Sri Ramakrishna is talking to us. See, this is the book. It is not, Sri Ramakrishna is not talking to Master Maharshi or any other third person. He is talking to us. He is talking to me. He is talking to you, every one of us. He is talking directly to you. In that is the sense, we should get. That is the feeling should come. That type of feeling should come to the devotees, so that when they read this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, that effect, that spiritual upliftment will happen. So in that sense, that's what Swami Nirvanananda said, if you read in that sense, whoever reads this book, they will get Brahmajnana. So that is what we have discussed in the last class about the gist of why the descriptions Master Mahesh gave all the details of the Dakshineshwar atmosphere on the whole location of the temple garden of Dakshineshwar. All those why he has given. Then after going to Dakshineshwar, and he was hearing. When hearing the name of Hari or Rama, once you shed tears and your hair stands on end, then you may know for certain that you do not have to perform such devotion as the Sandhya anymore. This was we are reading. Why Sri Ramakrishna has told like this? The whole book, you can read any part of the book, not necessarily you have to start from the beginning. Any page you can read, you can start reading, and you can have that all the teachings. There is no compulsory you should start from beginning. Why? Because from the beginning to end, only is talking about God only. Nothing else. But here, Sri Ramakrishna, these particular things, this inspired Master Mahasaya Mahendranath Gupta. Once you hear the name of Hari, if you shed tears, then all the works will drop off by itself. You need not perform any duties. Why Sri Ramakrishna has told like this? It's very important, because this is the first thing. To Sri Ramakrishna wanted all the devotees, all the seekers, and especially in particular Mahendranath Gupta, his ego, the ego was there. To remove, unless this ego is removed, Unless this ego is completely eradicated, one cannot realize God. That is what whole the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, one word we can say, eradication of ego. That is, now and then you see in gospel, in Kathamrita, in Bengal it says, Kachami, Pakami. Now and then it tells Sri Ramakrishna. Ripened ego, unripened ego. So, unripe ego should be removed, eradicated, and then that ego, real ego should come out. That is the reason why this particular thing he has told, because we are so much identified with this world. Every now and then, see how this ego is so subtle. Then only we can understand. See, it's for my own experience I can tell. So before I come joining this Ramakrishna mission, I went there to join Calcutta. I left Bangalore and I was traveling. Before joining, it was so enthusiastic. I was so excited. I'm going to join. I'm going to lead his sannyasa lives, spiritual life. As I was approaching towards Calcutta, even just before reaching Calcutta, Howrah, the Kharagpur station came. There I felt I am alone in this world. See, going for a few days and coming back, nothing will happen. Then that suddenly they came on thought. Say, I am not going back. Once and for all, I left everything. I am alone. Then only understood how much this attachment for parents or family, all those, then only understood. That is why Sri Ramakrishna says, once you shed tears for God, now all the works, all those things will go away. All you need not perform any duties. Why he has told, this is so strong, this identification of this world. See, when I am going, yes, you are once and for all, you are not going back to your house. You cannot live with your parents. That's all. Once you given up your house, given up your family, that means you belong to God. But we are not seeing God. We don't have any experience of God. We don't know when we get and when that feeling will come, because we are in search of it. You know, whether in this birth, next birth, we don't know. See, suppose you go to any job, any place, immediately you will get result. Suppose you invest something, you will get interest. You will get some benefit out of this. Here, when we get that benefit, we don't know. The completely unknown terrain. This is completely unknown terrain. Then you are giving up the holes right from birth. You are so much attached. Once you pull out that with root out, how pain it will be there. That pain of separation. That was so strong. That is why Sri Ramakrishna says, once you hear the name of the Hari, name of the Lord, we shed tears. See, that tear should come. We are weeping for our family, for our wealth, or for our property, all those things. Just if you shed tears for the God, then you are free. That is the moksha. That is the ultimate goal of human life. What is that? Purushartha. That Purushartha is moksha. These 4 Purusharthas, this is the whole purpose of these teachings, purpose of all scriptures, Upanishad, all those things. What is the purpose? This is only to get moksha, freedom. That is why so much strong. That is why how this very small one joke is there. One person, one gentleman, his name was unbelievable. People used to call him, his name itself is unbelievable. So all the people every day they used to call him unbelievable. He was very much disgusted to hearing this name, unbelievable. People are always calling unbelievable. So he became old. After some years he became old. He called his wife. See, all my life I was called by unbelievable. I don't want to carry, after my death, I don't want to carry this name for eternity. So after my death, please, after my death you bury you erect some monument, some gravy stone. So on that stone, don't mention my name. Instead of that, you can inscribe any other quotations, something like very interesting quotation you can inscribe. Not this name, unbelievable. So, okay, because the wife was, okay, his last wish should be fulfilled, whatever he asked. So, after some years, after a few months, he died and he was buried, and then gravestone was erected, and monument was erected. There she mentioned, here is a man, very sincere and honest. He never betrayed his wife. He inscribed on that stone. Here is a man, very sincere, honest, and then he never betrayed his wife. That was the inscription on that gravestone. The people passed by on that, before that monument, wow, after reading all this, really, it's really unbelievable. It's really unbelievable. So he never wanted to carry this name for his eternity, but people started calling it is unbelievable. So this name, it is not that world is not identifying with you, we are identifying with this world. Similarly, this man is identifying with this name. It's not that he himself made that name his own. That is the reason. He wanted to get rid of that, he is not getting rid of it. Because that name ingrained in his mind. So similarly, this world, this material things, so much ingrained in our life, material things, all those attachments, that is the difficulty for realization of God. That is why Sri Ramakrishna says here, once you shed tear, when you hear the name of the Hari, you will not have to perform any duties. So that is the thing. It is a new thing for him. Master Mahashaya, they think that getting knowledge, getting information is the only knowledge. He was thinking. He never thought that it is possible to realize God. Here is a man. He is telling you can realize God. You can see God. Only Swami Vivekananda came all the way to seek whether God exists or not. Here is the man. He says, yes, I am seeing as I am seeing you. More clearly. Similar things happening to this Master Mahashaya. Yes, God can be seen. But how? Here, in this gospel you can see, you can read, you can get how to see God. That is the speciality of this book. So, for the sake of this, our devotees, for the sake of the seekers, whoever wants to realize God, so how simplest way, not much difficulty, how the people can approach towards God. So simply, that's why Sri Ramakrishna selected this man, this Master Mahashaya, to record it. It is not decided by Master himself. Actually, he came casually, not to seek something. His friend Siddhu, in the beginning itself we read, the Siddhu, he was a friend as well also he was a relative of Master Mahashaya. Actually, this Master Mahashaya wanted to commit suicide. Some domestic problem in his house. Some problem his mind was troubling with some problem. So then Siddhu suggested, there is a beautiful temple garden, Dakshineshwar, we'll go on, charming place. And for that casually he came. Not with the intention of to see Sri Ramakrishna. There is one person, then accidentally they came and met Sri Ramakrishna. See, that is the divine, the providence. This is the providence, the will of the providence. The God's wish. We don't understand, but God knows. That this same Sri Ramakrishna, he selected this Master Mahashaya to record all his words. But he forbade to record other disciples to record all his teachings. This is not your job. So then you can understand this. Who is the chief editor of this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna? This Sri Ramakrishna himself. He is the chief editor. Of course, language, all that is not important. Facts and the teachings and meaning, exact meaning of the words that God himself has spoken. That is the reason. The speciality of this one is the words of the God. God is incarnation of same Rama, Krishna. They have incarnated this word, because in the beginning it's I told, Sri Ramchandra, for them not much problem to convince that they are gods. And Sri Krishna also not much problem to convince himself as a god. That was not the problem. That problem was different during Dwapara Yuga. Treta Yuga, Dharma is there, but there is no proper rules. In Dwapara Yuga, rules, Duryodhana used to follow all the rules, no dharma, no principles. That is the main thing. For this age, the greatest challenge for Sri Ramakrishna is to prove this world God exists. It is not so easy. See, you may quote so many scriptures. The scripture says like this, that scripture says like this. I mean, who will believe? Not because this is the age of science, the age of skeptical things. So you have to prove this God exists. It is not so easy. See, it is to kill any demon, it is easy. For Sri Krishna, kill Kamsa, it is very easy. To bring dharma, all those things. But it is very greatest challenge for Sri Ramakrishna, for this incarnation, to face this world, face this skeptical things, face this westernization mind, Western mind, face this scientific mind. One side so much full of superstition. See, when Sri Ramakrishna's advent, full of superstition, one side. Other side, completely ignored. There is no God. And westernization. This was the great challenge before Sri Ramakrishna. For that reason, Sri Ramakrishna had to practice all those disciplines. Why he practiced? Once already he's realized, when he day and night wept was Divine Mother. Mother, show me, please show me your form. Day and night we wept. And Mother gave darshan, but she was not satisfied. Why? Once he already has seen God, called Divine Mother, Kali darshana over. He realized Mother, that he saw Divine Mother Kali. Then what is the use of practicing all those things? Because this is the age of doubt. That's why Swami Vivekananda, beautiful sloka he has written. Samshaya Rakshasa Nasha Mahastram. See, this beautiful Achandala Putiritayoho. One is there, Naradeva. This beautiful sloka is there. There it says, Sri Ramakrishna incarnated to kill the demon. What is that demon? Who is that demon? Samshaya, doubt. So that is the great challenge. So for this age, people will doubt everything. Whatever you say, there is a counter argument will be there. If you say something, there is another counter argument. So, for that reason, Sri Ramakrishna had to practice all those disciplines. Just okay, I have seen God. Then he could have proclaimed, yes, I have seen God. He could have proclaimed, he could have made himself a great Sadguru, a great Jagadguru. He did not do that. Because he himself doubted whether what I am seeing, whether Mother God is going, is it my hallucination? Is it my imagination? So he practiced and then finally declared, yes, God exists. He practiced all other religions, all other disciplines, Tantra, 64 Tantra sadhanas, Advaita sadhana. Then ultimately he found out, yes, all the paths will lead to same goal. God is one, God is real. One reality is taken different forms. He proved, Sri Ramakrishna incarnated to prove that Veda is true. Veda Pramana. Shastra Pramana. How Shastra is Pramana? Shankaracharya beautifully says, Shankaracharya. Shastra, how Shastra is Pramana. People say, yes, Brahman exists. Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya, they say. For that, what is the proof? Pramana, Shastra, they say. How Shastra is Pramana? How to accept that Shastra is Pramana? That is a big question. Yes, there are so many people, they don't believe scriptures. There are some traditions, they don't believe in any Shastra. Shankaracharya beautifully says, Shastra when Shastra, that means it has to come, should come from the mouth of the Guru, that Shruti. Whatever Shruti comes, Shruti, when you hear the words of the Veda, whatever Upanishad, when you hear, it should be understood by Yukti. Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava. These three things are there. All the three things are fulfilled, then only that Shastra becomes Pramana. That is what beautiful Shankaracharya says. So that Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava, all these three things, Sri Ramakrishna experienced in his life. Sri Ramakrishna practiced in his own life all the scriptures are mentioned, all the discipline Sri Ramakrishna practiced and proved that Shastra is Pramana. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna says, Jyotomot Tatopot, as many faces, so many paths. When he said, the same word we will find in Rigveda. Ekam Satyapra Bhuda Vadanti. The reality is one. The sages call it different names. That should be proved. How? Sri Ramakrishna practiced in his own life and experienced it. So that experience, that out of that, all these words we are going to hear from this gospel. So Sri Ramakrishna says, once you shed tears. So we shed tears for so many things, worldly things. But we don't shed tears for reality thing, real thing. So Sri Ramakrishna wanted to, you shed tears for reality. You shed tears for realism, for God, which is the source of all this creation. For that you weep. That is what Sri Ramakrishna said. So once you shed tear for that, then you need not work. And it is not forcibly, you don't stop. By itself it will stop. Nothing to work. Everything is same. You see everything, same reality in everywhere. What is the use of working? Then after seeing this, M was very flabbergasted. What is surprised? Is it possible like this? Then afterwards, he started visiting all other temples. Let me finish all those places to see, and again we came. After some time, so on the way back to Sri Ramakrishna's room, the two friends talked. Sidhu told him that the temple garden had been built by Rani Rasmani. Of course, those who have visited Dakshineshwar temple, it was constructed by Rani Rasmani. By Divine Mother, Kali herself came to in her dream to build a temple for me. She is a fisherman coming from fisherman community. See, all this divine plan, these things. And then when she constructed this temple, there was no one to come to perform this, take up the job, that priest work, puja. Then finally, Sri Ramakrishna's brother Ram Kumar. So Ram Kumar, he accepted because he was just like a guru for Rani Rasmani. Then during that time, Ram Kumar, his brother, Sri Ramakrishna's brother, brought Sri Ramakrishna, the Gadadhar, to Dakshineshwar. Then at first he was reluctant to accept. Because why Sri Ramakrishna was reluctant to accept this priesthood there? Because once you take up the job, you will be the responsibility for all the ornaments. See, whatever ornaments are put to Divine Mother, to image, that is the responsibility of the pujari. So he clearly told, see, I will do puja. Whatever you say, I will do. But I don't take responsibility of these ornaments. Because he is completely detached from all these things. Then okay, accept it. You need not worry. In the meantime, that his nephew Hrudayaram came and they took up all the other responsibilities, and Sri Ramakrishna only was doing puja. So that is what he was mentioning, Rani Rasmani. He said that God was worshipped there daily as Kali, Krishna and Shiva, and that within the gates many sadhus and beggars were fed. When they reached Sri Ramakrishna's door again, they found it shut, and Brinde, the maid, standing outside. M, who had been trained in English manners, would not enter a room unannounced. See, after visiting all those places, so M and his friend, they just about to enter, door was shut. Here clearly it is mentioned in English manners, because generally we'll knock and go. In those days, but now also we are all following same English manner only. We don't immediately open the door. So that, just imagine, see why especially this word, M, who had been trained in English manners and would not enter a room unannounced. That means, this type of culture we have learned from English, from Western people. Then what was the culture in our country? If you understand, in those days, before English people, before Westernization, the free society, there was no secrecy in our society. People never used to keep secret anything. See, when you secret, we do something wrong. When you do something wrong, when you want to do something wrong, then you shut everything. This is natural. Because all this, that means, we have seen in our villages, forget about in cities, in villages, doors are always kept open. Then simply they'll open and go inside. It was there. But nowadays what happened? What is happening now? Now we are, of course, now 100% we don't enter. Now it is good also. We should not, without announcing, we should not go and do it. Because certain things, you cannot expect the situation what was there before, during ancient time. In Sri Ramakrishna time, how it was. We cannot expect now. Because things have changed. Why I am telling about English manner? Because his Master Mahashaya, he was a teacher in Vidyasagar school. At the same time, he was well read also. And then all those things. Because he learned he used to meet many great scholars and all the professors. Naturally, he had learned them English manners. But Sri Ramakrishna was not trained by English manners. He is from village. And in village area, they are all open. Where absolute secrecy is required, that is only few hours. There is a time was there to keep secrets. But otherwise, the whole society was completely open. Nothing to hide. See, what is happening in next house, everybody, the whole society will come to know. That was the situation. Now the situation, how there are so many people, same apartment living, next person, what is happening, who is there, we don't know. That is the situation now. But those days it was not like that. If anything happens, if any function is going on, whole locality people will come and assemble. They will participate in there as if it is happening. The function is happening in our own house. Like that. That was the situation. Here nobody will now things have changed. Next to our neighbor, what is there? Who is there? They don't know their name also. Oh, they are living. And I don't know. We are so many years we are living. We don't know who is there. That is the situation. So that is why he is telling. That is why they are mentioning here English manners. This English manners is written by himself. It is not that somebody, third person is writing about M. Here, Master Mahashaya, he projected himself as a third person and writing this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Here, M, who had been trained in English manners, he himself is writing. So, English manners, I would not enter room announced. There was a brinde. Brinde, one maid servant was standing nearby. She just entered. Is the holy man in? Is there the holy man? That holy man means Sri Ramakrishna is there inside. Then, yes, Papa, you can go. Oh, my child, you can go inside. Now, how long he is living here? Yeah. Oh, he has been here a long time. So many years he is there. The next question is very important. M asks, does he read many books? Then this Brinde, books? What nonsense. Of course, he cannot tell like this. What nonsense asking? Oh dear, no, they are all on his tongue. See, this Brinde, maid servant, she is absolutely, she is not absolutely illiterate. How does she know that all the knowledge on his tongue? How does she know that Sri Ramakrishna knows everything? Of course, she must have seen so many people are all scholars, big people are coming and visiting Sri Ramakrishna. She must have seen. And then she observed, because she is a maid, so she cleaning all those areas. She has noticed, out of her own common sense, finally she come to the conclusion that she has not, because she knows that she observed that Sri Ramakrishna is not reading any books. In his room also no books are available. Nothing was there. But naturally come to the conclusion that Sri Ram, all the knowledge on his tongue. This M suddenly surprised. What? Without reading books? He is so knowledgeable person. This is the general notion. No. If you want to get knowledge, if you want to know many things, so you should read more books. That is general notion. The same M also had same thing. Simple logic. This Brinde is more calm. She had more common sense than this Master Mahashya. The knowledge doesn't come from reading books. Just for example, see, law of gravitation discovered by Newton. Has he discovered this law of gravitation after reading books? Or before that there was no gravitation? Gravitation was not there. Even before discovering, Newton discovering this law of gravitation, this gravitation already was there. Already it was there. How he came to know that there is a gravitation? This is intuition. Observe the nature. So all the knowledge comes from within. That is why Swami Vivekananda's education is a manifestation of perfection which is already in man. So all the statements of Swami Viji, it is coming from Sri Ramakrishna himself. See, all the knowledge is good. It doesn't mean that you should not read books. Yes, you should read books. Of course, you are also by reading this gospel only we are understanding. It doesn't mean that we should not read books. Reading books, you just instigating your knowledge which is already there. These books and hearing, getting knowledge from outside is just to ignite your real knowledge which is inside. That is the purpose only. Not that by reading itself you will get God realization. Just to keeping the mobile and keeping that map, Google map, you will not reach destiny. You have to go with that map. Google map is there, with that we will go. GPS is there, with that we will go. But GPS itself is not your destination. The problem is here, the M, book itself is knowledge, book itself is destiny. That was the notion he had. So by reading books only we will get all the knowledge. That is the first blow. Already first blow over. The starting, in subtle way started that his ego was crushed. What is that? By hearing the Hari's name, you have shed tears, all the work will be, all your duty will be dropped off. That is subtle way started, his ego was getting dropped. The first blow of ego to give this blow was given by this Brinde. What is that? Without reading, then he had that, without reading the books, one can get knowledge. So here, M afterwards, books, oh dear, no, they are all in his tongue. M had just finished his studies in college. It amazed him to hear that Sri Ramakrishna read no books. He was surprised. M, perhaps it is time for his evening devotion. Maybe go into the room. Will you tell him we are eager to see him? He's asking. Maybe evening devotion, evening ritual is there. Shall we go? He's asking. Oh, go right now. Children, go inside. Sit down. She told. Generally, those who are spiritual person, generally there is sadhus. What they do, evening, they do certain puja, some rituals, all those things. But it is something different here. Sri Ramakrishna he is not performing any puja or any rituals. He was thinking that because he's a pujari, of course his duty was that now he already, by the time when Master Mahasaya came to visit Sri Ramakrishna, he already gave up doing puja in Dakshineshwar temple. It was all those happened after all these sadhanas, all 12 years of sadhana, Tanta sadhana, Advaita sadhana, all those things. This duty of performing rituals in the temple of Dakshineshwar temple, he was entrusted to that his nephew Udairam. He was doing puja. He was looking after all the temple affairs. By that time, Sri Ramakrishna gave up all other rituals because, of course, he can't perform any other rituals also because now and then he used to go into samadhi. There is the question of doing sadhana, doing rituals, doing puja. Because hearing the name itself is, see, from the beginning itself, when you hear the name of Hari, you said tears means he's already in tears. When you hear the name of Mother, when he hears the name of Hari, just Sri Ramakrishna goes in deep samadhi. And he loses his consciousness. And the tears will roll from his. Where is the question of? See, Sri Ramakrishna is not just teaching what is written in the books, but he himself is experiencing. That's why just now I told about Shankaracharya. What Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava, all those three things are fulfilled in Sri Ramakrishna's life. So he himself is experiencing. So this is the first time Sri Ram, this M, seeing this man. Entering the room, they found Sri Ramakrishna alone. He was sitting alone, seated on the wooden couch. Incense had just been burnt and all the doors were shut. As he entered, M with folded hands saluted the master. Then at the master's bidding, he and Sidhu sat on the floor. Sri Ramakrishna asked them, "Where do you live? What's your occupation? Why have you come to Bharunagar?" M answered the question, but he noticed that now and then the master seemed to become absent-minded. So, just they entered, they sat by the instruction of Sri Ramakrishna. Then Sri Ramakrishna asking, "Oh, where are you from?" They are coming from Bharunagar. Just just opposite to the Ganges, Ganga river, you can see the Bharunagar. Then Bharunagar Math also there now. Bharunagar is an area. This side Dakshineshwar, that side Bharunagar. Then he said, "Why have you come?" Then, but they are answering, but Sri Ramakrishna is not interested to listen because now he is doing his consciousness, becoming absent-minded. They thought that so maybe Sri Ramakrishna is busy. I think you are busy. M answers the question, but noticed later he learned that this mood is called bhava. See, he did not know that bhava samadhi. The first time he is experiencing. It is like the way an angler acts when sitting with this rod. See, when the fishing rod, when they have so much concentration. Sri Ramakrishna now and then he quotes that, he gives that example, how mind should be concentrated, how mind should be focused. So like that. So his mind is now and then is going in the higher plane. So that angler is on the rod, he grips the rod and watches the float steadily and eagerly. He will not speak to anyone. So that time when the fisherman try to catch that fish with the rod, he will not talk to anyone. He will be so much focused. So like that should be their mind. That's what they say. Sri Ramakrishna says, the mind should be focused like this, concentration. So his mind was like that. Later M heard and himself noticed that Sri Ramakrishna would often go into, he did not know, this first time he is seeing, now and then he is losing his consciousness because he never experienced such type of person, you have not seen in his life, this type of man. Now and then he is losing his consciousness. So M, perhaps you want to perform your evening devotions, in that case, maybe take our leave. But in the beginning he did not know, what is happening, he thought that, Master Mahasaya thought that, so Sri Ramakrishna is absent-minded, he is not giving attention towards us. Maybe he is busy, he has got some other engagement. He was thinking like that. But he did not understand that he is losing his consciousness. He is in different plane. He did not know. For that reason he asked, shall we take leave? No, not like that. Sri Ramakrishna, not like that. I have nothing to do. I don't. Even in devotion, Sri Ramakrishna says, no. Even in devotion, no. Even in devotion means any puja, something like that. It is not exactly that, like that. After a little conversation, he saluted the master, took his leave. Come again, Sri Ramakrishna said. Come again. This is the common word. When Sri Ramakrishna says come again, it's very important. Generally, he will not tell come again. When Sri Ramakrishna says come again means it is going to in future. It is something bigger thing to happen in the coming future. That is the thing. When Sri Ramakrishna says come again, that means yes, you already entered in his circle. That is why when any sadhus, any great sadhu, any spiritual man, suppose when they go and meet, if they say come again, never say no, not possible. Yes, I will come. You have to go. Why? Because when they generally, of course, very great souls, especially great souls, incarnations, and highly spiritual people, when they say come again, you have to take it as a Veda Vakya. You should visit them. Why? There is something interesting things going to happen in your life. So, unless that person is when Sri Ramakrishna is a God incarnation, he is Bhagavan himself is telling come again means it is not an ordinary thing. It seems to be very small. It's simple word. What is come again? What is that? Generally, any devotee, any relative comes to your house, any friends or relatives, come again. You may tell. We invite them as casually, not with out of devotion, something like that. It's just to invite, come again. It's just a casual way of talking. But when Sri Ramakrishna says come again, it is not ordinary. You see, Sri Ramakrishna never talks without any reason. In his all through his life, if you study the life of Sri Ramakrishna, even Gospel or a great master, his life of Sri Ramakrishna never, not a single lie he has told in his life. And every word without reason, he will never spoke any word without reason. When he utter one single word, there must be something meaning behind it. There must be something something is there in that, in his words. So we call, yes, it is natural. In every house, when guest comes, when people come, oh, please come again. We invite. But when Sri Ramakrishna said, it is not an ordinary thing. When he said come again, that means it is something he is going to get a most valuable thing. So, again, Sri Ramakrishna has told us, come again. So, again, Sri Ramakrishna, same word I am telling you, come again in the next week to listen what Sri Ramakrishna will tell, what this Master Mahashaya will get answer from Sri Ramakrishna. So, to get that answer, we should also come again for next week. Let us close this lecture. Not coming Sunday, next Sunday. So every alternate Sunday, this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna will continue. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.